This is David with High Performance Stoicism. I want to talk to you about the Stoic Escape. This video is for those of you out there who feel totally trapped in your life. You feel miserable with the way things are. You don't see a way out. Now, even if you feel somewhat trapped in your life, this video will help you, and I'm giving you a Stoic way of seeing your situation and getting out of it. Now, it's important to note to start off that you are not literally trapped. What you are is you are stuck, and you are stuck because of the things you want, and some of the things you want are good. You want a better life, you want a better relationship, you want a better job, and so on. So there's something positive behind the situation that you consider totally negative, because the reason you see it as negative is because you have higher ideas of how your life can be. And I want to support you in seeing your life that way. And one thing you should note as I'm telling you this, I've been in this situation before when I'm in a particular job, my boss is against me. My boss is stopping me at every turn from improving things in our department. And there's a number of people that I have on good intelligence that they're also against me. So I know what you're going through. Now, why is it, to start off, that you have a feeling of being trapped in your situation? Why are you so miserable about it? And let's first sketch a little situation that we can use as a reference point for this discussion. So here's a situation where people feel trapped. You don't like your job, you're close to hating it, or you hate it. You can't stand going into the job. It's not what you wanted out of life. You didn't want to work in this kind of job, but you feel, I am trapped. Number two in this situation would be you have a bad relationship. Things were much better in the beginning. Now we're at odds with each other. We seem to want different things, and I don't see any way we can improve it. And third, to round out this little sketch of a situation where someone is trapped, your relationship to yourself is not too good. You don't feel good about yourself. You don't know what to do. You feel guilty. You feel to blame for why you're in your situation. And sometimes this comes along with making a lot of excuses why you were there. So here's the fundamental reason why you are seeing this situation as being you are trapped, and why you don't see it in a much better light. It comes down to one thing and one thing alone: your perspective, the way you are seeing the whole situation. And to understand what I'm going to tell you, to be able to take advantage of the information that I'm going to give you, I want you to do two things. Number one, I want you to consider whether it's possible that with a totally different perspective, you could see your life right now as being, okay, this is pretty good. I'm going to make something great out of it. So that's what I want you to do. Realize that it's possible that with a different perspective, your situation could be much better. The second thing I'm going to ask you to do, and I say this in a very tentative way for you, to make some commitment to learning about Stoicism, and think about very seriously committing to practicing Stoicism, because that's going to change your perspective. That's going to change your life. I know, because it did both of those for me. So just with those little requests to you from me, we could get going on what we're talking about here. So Stoicism is a study and practice of wholehearted action. What that means is you are in total harmony with yourself, and which few people are, and that's going to make you someone who is courageous and self-controlled to a degree most people can't imagine. And that's what we're really going for. That's the goal. In other words, becoming virtuous. And that's important to understand. That's important to understand what that is. But the practice of Stoicism, which I would encourage you to do, a big part of it is what I call perspective shaping. Everything you are doing in practicing Stoicism is going to improve your perspective. And here's the beautiful thing, in many ways that you could never imagine or predict, one day you just find out I see things differently. So here's a basic point which everybody should agree with, and that is you and I, we are not total fools, but foolish enough not to be living a great life. That's the Stoic view. Everybody who is not totally virtuous or wise is a fool. And so that we understand it, we could say to some degree or another, because we all know someone who is more foolish than us. But if you think about your life, you'll see, yeah, there are certain ways in which I am foolish. Here's a good example: that you feel trapped in the situation, or that your situation hasn't turned out the way you wanted it. That suggests you're lacking in some wisdom. And I'm saying that not for you to feel bad about it, to just recognize that's the true cause of the problem. You are not wise, something we all share. Now, one thing to note about the Stoics, and since we're going for virtue, recognize the one thing that we're talking about for every human being, and it's central, is their character. Now, to put it in the language of the 21st century, what do we mean by character? Our whole personality. Now, our personality explains several things. It explains why we take the actions we take. It explains, oh, why did Jim do that? That's his personality. We all understand that. Also, the way we feel things is a reflection of what our character is. So if you have a very foolish character, you're going to have a lot of foolish feelings. The good thing is, you and I, we have a bunch of foolish feelings, but we're not total fools, right? And then lastly, character tells us how you will see things. Now, you've already agreed to a common sense, and so here's a common sense point. The way you see things is one thing, and the way somebody who is a sage, the wise man of the Stoics, they see things totally different. Now, it's good to recognize that, because you recognize there's a distance between me and that person, but that's the direction I'm going toward. And this has to do with many things in personal development. You could see, I'm not making any money. I'm making $30,000 a year. I want to make $1 million. It doesn't feel good to see that gap, but then that gives us a good direction to go in. The same is going to be true of the sage. So recognizing that person sees things totally different than you, of course, they're wise, makes us reflect on, okay, how are the ways in which I'm seeing things not serving me? As we change the way we see things, our life is going to get better in small ways and big ways. That's what practicing Stoicism is about. It's about perspective shaping. Now, you gave me a bit of a commitment to practicing Stoicism. You're at least going to say, I'm going to check it out. And the best way to check it out is to read books like Epictetus' Enchiridion and Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. That's going to be good. You could also join my group. Check the link below, which is Stoic Practices for Success. We talk a lot about how you can transform your life there. But okay, we have a little commitment from you to start to learn more about practicing Stoicism. I'm going to give you now a big head start. Now, here are 4 things, which we could call them Stoic principles or Stoic truths, but right now I'm calling them perspectives, because changing these is going to be the start for you to start to see things like a sage, a little, and then a good deal, and then a lot, more and more. So here's one perspective I want you to adopt and use it for any situation you enter. Some things are up to me, and some things are not up to me. And with that, you want to start to focus more on what's up to you and let go the things that are not up to you. So that's perspective one. Perspective two, and this is also a Stoic doctrine, the seeds of virtue are within me. Courage is within me. Self control is within me. Prudence or wisdom is within me. And justice is within me. By my own mind, within my own soul, I can start to act on this belief that I'm already partway there in the Stoic view. I just have to keep building on it and grow those seeds. That's number two. Number three, and this is an important Stoic point, an important Stoic perspective, especially in Marcus Aurelius, you'll see it all over the place, is the perspective, I am a part of the divine whole. I am a part of a universe that is run by a supreme intelligence, which they call God, Zeus, nature, and a number of other names. So adjust this one to your particular religion. If you are an agnostic or an atheist, just come up with something that will be along these lines. I am a part of an intelligent universe, or a universe that's run by eternal rules, right? Or laws. Okay, number four, here's another key one, and that is the way I become virtuous is by acting rationally in tension situations. That's how I transform my soul from being a somewhat foolish soul to being a wise one is I am rational when I am in tension situations. And what's a tension situation? A sudden traffic jam. Someone is rude to you at work. You have a big plan for your family, and then your spouse shoots it down. Your kids do something crazy, and you have to intervene and save them. Whatever it is, if you can keep your rationality in all those tension situations, you're moving toward being virtuous. Okay. Now, one other matter of perspective that we're going to bring into this discussion is the Stoic value theory. It's pretty simple, but and so but it's different than ours, and if you start to believe it, it will change your perspective greatly. There's only one thing that is supremely good, that is virtue. That is being courageous, prudent, temperate, and just. There's only one thing that's really bad, that is being cowardly, imprudent, self-indulgent, and unjust, being an immoral person. Okay, in between those, things having to do with wealth and poverty, things having to do with health and sickness, things having to do with a good social standing and a bad social standing, all those are intermediates or indifference, meaning either way, either one you get, it's not that important because none of them can really determine whether you're happy or you're not. Only being virtuous can determine whether you're happy or not. So, one last perspective point that's going to shift you toward your Stoic escape. And that is, check this out, almost everybody, even if someone who is on a spiritual path, has the following goal. Most people just want to get things out of life. And that could include I want to feel better, I want to be more popular, I want money, I want salvation. It's about getting. That's the result people are going for. Another way to live your life is indicated by Stoicism, which is this. I am not living my life simply to get things. I am living my life to train myself to handle better. So I'm acting and thinking and doing things during the day to train myself for a better life, not to get of all these things. Now, the beauty of this, and this will be challenging for many of you to take on, but once you commit to a life of training, what you're going to find is you still get things, but you're just not overvaluing them. And that goes back a bit to Stoic value theory. Now, let's go back to the three things that make up this life where you feel trapped. I have a bad job. I walk into work tomorrow and I say, I'm committed to training to be a Stoic. I want to live a life of training to become better and better so I can handle everything. Okay, my life is going to be better. And then I'm told by my boss, I'm not going to give you the raise you requested. Remember, money, either a gain or a loss, that's an indifferent. Either way, it won't have any effect on my happiness. Now, if I go into work with that perspective, how am I going to do? How am I going to see things better? I'm training. There's a jerk at work who gives me a hard time. I'm training to be a better person. Now I am thankful that that person is there. Two, the bad relationship, some of the same points, and recognizing that the reason we have fights is because I want something. I want to get something. I did something for you. You didn't do something back for me. Keeping scores like that, you're doing something different now and you're saying, I'm not really going for getting things. I'm going to do this little experiment that David told me about, and I'm going to be the rational person in a tension situation. My wife, my girlfriend, whatever starts a fight, I'm going to be rational one here. I'm going to be the rational one here and let it blow over and talk when everybody's calmed down. That's moving me towards virtue. And I'm saying the way this person is acting, that's out of my power. I can only handle what I'm doing. Lastly, how do I improve my relationship with myself? Well, by making that commitment and seeing these situations differently, I am caring more about my soul than I have in a long time. Stoicism holds that by nature, we love ourselves. By nature, we want to preserve our soul, our constitution, and the way to live a better life is not to try to change the whole world, the things that are not up to us, but to change what's in our power, how we're doing. So that's the Stoic escape from the life you feel trapped in. Tell me what you think in the comments, like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.